guys, and welcome to a Brethren Breakdown. We are here today to break down the brand new, just announced Legend of Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Now, this is a first within the main Zelda games. This is a game where you play as Zelda instead of Link. And I'm excited for it. It's very different. I don't know if it's going to be considered canon. I don't know if it's going to be considered non-canon. But we're going to jump into this trailer. We're going to break it down and see what's to see. So get excited and let's dive on in. Okay, let's go. Okay, so first things first, we see the classic Link's Awakening remake style here. So that's the style going. We see Link, and he kills 3 Dark Nuts. And first thing I notice is his sword. That doesn't look like the Master Sword. So it's a little, the blue's not quite right, and like obviously, you know, it doesn't have that quite the right shape either. But I'm wondering if it's just like a reskin, a relook for the sword, or if it's a completely different sword in general. Obviously, we see Zelda in the classic captured and Ganon. Now, this Ganon looks like the Ganon from the Downfall timeline, meaning this is not Ganondorf anymore. This is him as Ganon, stuck in the Ganon form as his normal monstrous pig form. So this could mean this game is set in the Downfall timeline, somewhere around it. Not really sure where exactly. Theoretically, it could be somewhere between Triforce Heroes and The Legend of Zelda, or it could be anywhere. Who knows? We don't really know. As well as you can see the classic Hylian shield there as well. And we kind of can get a better look at the sword here. Still doesn't look like the Master Sword. Because, yeah, definitely, I don't think it's the Master Sword at all. But, once again, classic, there it is. It's that Link from the, like, a Link's Awakening look. I like this art style. I know some people don't, but I enjoy it. But anyways, let's keep going. So we get the cool fights here between Ganon and Link. We see a couple of cool moves from Link with his spinning jump attack, which is freaking awesome. And this is where it starts getting really interesting. So here we see that Ganon's trident, his trident that he classically uses in the Downfall timeline, causes this rift that is sucking Link into it. And this is where you get the first kind of hint that this is a Zelda game. Now, once again, this is a beautiful looking game already. I mean, just look at that. Look how absolutely wonderful this world looks. You can kind of already see some caves. You see Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain in the background, is I'm assuming. But, ooh, it looks good. We can see also in the top right here what looks to be maybe a dungeon. This could be a dungeon we have to go through. But we do see a lot of cool things here. We see bombable walls. You can see the little bottom left here, beside my head, there's bombable walls. You see caves you can explore. You see a lot of different areas that look really interesting to check out. You can even see what looks like some kind of house maybe here. Very similar kind of, I wonder if this is a similar layout to A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. It's kind of giving me that vibe the map is a little bit, but we'll have to kind of see. Okay. So here's another interesting little kind of scene here. We're seeing what's probably Castle Town. If this isn't Castle Town, this is probably just another village. We start seeing rifts appear literally probably anywhere and everywhere. And people, objects, different things are probably being pulled into them as well. We also see what could be a way to save in the game. You see, go back a little bit. We see here the way we saved in A Link Between Worlds, kind of showing that new feature that was also kind of in Triforce Heroes with the statue, where you could save at certain points, certain objects in the game, and that could be what that is right there. And obviously here again, we see the rifts are appearing here, and we see 2 little houses, little huts in the water. We'll see later in this village, the Zora do make a return, and in a unique new way too. This could be houses the Zora have put together. We'll have to see it. We'll have to see. Now this is interesting too. This is a very different look for a fairy, quote-unquote fairy. Most of the fairies we've seen within the Zelda series have either been like the balls of light or humanoid in some way, shape, or another. But this one is a very different, this Tri. So I'm interested in seeing what is exactly Tri's backstory and what Tri really is. Because I think there's going to be a lot to that. And if you'll notice too, there's these triangles above Tri that change, the amount of them change throughout the story. So originally we saw 3, now there's 4 here. And you'll kind of see it change as the trailer goes along. So that could mean a few different things. We're about to learn about this mysterious power. And this might be showing how strong Tri is, how many echoes you can make. Exactly, right there, you saw when she made the echo, one of the triangles disappeared. That's probably just like a gauge showing you how many things you can make at a time, which is a cool little way of powering up. And I'm sure you can power up Tri many times. Obviously, you can power Tri up at least once, but let's see how many times exactly. And you can also see in the bottom right, the map. You'll see there's a map that's kind of, it looks to be on the screen constantly, which is a very different than how we normally do Zelda things. But the map obviously shows the different levels as well as the rifts you can see in the screen. Obviously, the way this works will be kind of how, like, this will show how to beat puzzles. I'm very interested in how many ways you can break the game using this stuff, that's for sure. So here's something that I find is a little interesting. I want to know what this is. If you look at both the map and on the screen, you can see this little stone-like object thing that's glowing. You can also kind of see it here on the map as well. So it's obviously it's an interest point, a key interest within the game. Now, what this does exactly, I'm not sure. It could be a power-up for Tri. It could be maybe some kind of way of traveling around. I'm not real sure, but it is something to kind of keep a lookout for, and I'm very excited to see what it does. Once again, if you look back there, you can see another one of those little points right here. So it could be a fast travel point. That's a potential since this is located within a village. That's probably a high possibility, for being real honest, is a way you can fast travel. Maybe Tri uses the abilities to move Zelda around. Who knows? That is honestly incredible, being able to swim up by using blocks of water created. This game is going to be very interesting on how you solve puzzles already. I know the whole concept is to use your imagination with these things and find ways to move forward. Very similar to Tears of the Kingdom. It had its ideas of using their features to build and adapt to your surroundings. I'm willing to bet there's probably multiple ways to beat some of these puzzles and kind of explore the world, which is also very exciting. This looks like it could potentially be Gerudo Town, which would be fun. It's been a while since we've seen Gerudo Town in a 2D game, and also it'd be kind of fun to see Zelda interacting with the Gerudo instead of Link interacting with the Gerudo. And actually, yes, there it is. There's a Gerudo right there. This is definitely Gerudo Town, which is exciting. So the Gerudo are making a comeback, which is also interesting because we haven't seen the Gerudo in a 2D for a long time. Because at least on the Downfall timeline, the Gerudo are not very present at all. So that's if this is within the Downfall timeline, then that's an interesting aspect. So the combat's very interesting in my opinion because it looks like you don't actually really fight. You'll spawn like summons, which is very unique and interesting. It's like not her fighting specifically, it's a summon or you're throwing things. So it's going to be a very different way of fighting, which is very unique, of course. Here, this is also kind of a remnant of going back to Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. You have enemy camps, where if you kill off all the enemies, you open a chest. That's just a fun little merger of the way the 3D and the 2D gameplay mechanics work. Obviously, we have Impa. Maybe let's go back and just take a peek. Which I can't tell if this might be a. This might be a guy, actually. I don't know. We might have the Sheikah come back. And when I first saw this, I thought this was Impa, but now slowing down and looking at it, this doesn't look like it would be Impa. This looks like a straight up a guy. This may be a Sheikah. They may be returning. Who knows? Obviously, here's a crazy one. We have both the river and the sea Zora making an appearance, which is not happened in a Zelda game. Obviously, the most people are accustomed to the sea Zora, which are the normal ones, the ones you think of Mipha when you think of Rudo. Those are your sea Zoras. We haven't seen those in a 2D game since the Oracle games. And then the River Zora are your typical enemy Zoras. They've been enemies in most 2D Zelda games up until, I believe the first time they weren't the enemy was Link Between Worlds. I could be wrong, but that's when you first started seeing them kind of not strictly be complete enemies and kind of have factions within where some are good, some are bad. But this is the first time we see both of them, which is insane and also very exciting. Also, the Deku Scrubs are back, and this is a great one. We get to see the Deku Scrubs come back. They're obviously going to be making a probably similar role as they have in other games where they have kind of like the merchant abilities, but they are back in the game, which is also exciting. This one reminds me a lot of Majora's Mask, which is also really cool.
The fate of the kingdom.
The Great Deku Tree is in this as well, which is... like I said, so many aspects of the games are kind of colliding, which makes me really wonder where this takes place on the timeline, if it's even canon at all, because it may not even be canon.
Now in Zelda's
Obviously, the Master Sword wasn't there with the Deku Tree, so who knows where that is. We see a boss there, which is pretty cool. The stone golem-like boss arising. So there obviously are bosses. You can even see in the background here a giant fish. That may be a boss as well. I'm interested in how the dungeons are going to be like and really kind of understanding how that's going to work. Probably very similar to ones we've done in the past before within Zelda games, but still. I like it. It also goes back and forth from the 2.5 to the side scrolling to the top down. That's also really fun. I think this is going to be a really fun mechanic, puzzle solving mechanic with these echoes. Like you said, there's multiple ones, and
battle enemies will change.
Yeah, it all can change and everything can be different, which will make the game replayable. It'll make it a lot more interesting in replayability with you being able to do things differently. I can see a lot of challenges happening that way. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Each player's experience will be different.
The freaking Re-Dead! Oh, the Re-Dead are back. They're showing up. This is exciting. This is exciting. Obviously, heart pieces. You can see heart pieces are in the game. So this game is I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be something very different, but it's also it's kind of a new little breath of fresh air, I guess, which is they've been wanting to do with the Zelda series. And a lot of people are excited to play as Zelda as well. So I'm interested in seeing how this goes. I'm interested in if this game is canon, where it could potentially take place on the timeline. So I think if it's not on the Downfall timeline, it'd have to take place far in the future of things like Breath of the Wild. But judging, and Tears of the Kingdom, but judging how things are, I would say this would take place in the Downfall timeline, probably somewhere in between A Link Between Worlds and or Triforce Heroes and The Legend of Zelda, if I had to guess. That's just kind of where it's looking like, just judged off of the story. If Ganon is even in it, we see Ganon in the beginning, so theoretically, we don't know if he's the big bad or someone else is. Either way, I'm excited for this game. There's a lot of cool things in the trailer. Tell me, did you see anything I missed in the trailer? What are you excited about this for this game? And just tell me, what are your expectations for the game? I hope you're excited. I am. If you like Zelda, we've been playing through all the Zelda games for our timeline takeover, doing deep dives into it. Be on the lookout for more Zelda, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!